Welcome everybody back into Nerd Sesh. As always, I'm Carson Breber, and alongside me is Logan Camden. And today we are joined by none other than the Ronnie Singh, Ronnie 2K, of course, face of the game that I'm sure a bunch of you guys know and love and have played for many years, is with us today. So Ronnie, first of all, great to meet you. Great to have you. How you doing today?
Yeah, I'm great. Thank you guys for having me. Excited to talk.
Of course. So I think one of the first questions that you get asked in probably just about every interview is about the most upset that some player's ever gotten at you over a rating. That just feels like
hmm
sort of an inevitable question. I'm going to take it the opposite direction here. Have you ever had a player reach out to you and tell you, hey man, I'm just going to be honest with you, like you're rating me way too high here? Has that ever happened?
Um, if it has, it's once a bluest of blue moons.
Yeah.
I'm sure it has happened a couple times, but and I probably should remember because it would be so surprising. But
Yeah.
generally, no. I
Right.
mean, look. Ultimately, these guys are competitive guys, so they want to be held in the highest regard, and so the ratings thing is a barometer that they hold in the locker rooms against their peers. So why
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't they want to be higher, right? Like, why wouldn't it
No,
go
of
that
course.
way? Totally makes sense. But yeah, that's a funny question.
And
I was hoping there was somebody out there, but yeah, that would be a shocker.
Yeah,
over the last decade, Ronnie, we've seen increases kind of overall across player ratings. There are 19 guys who are 90 plus overall in 2K24 compared to 2K14 when there were just 10.
yeah.
To you, is that about the talent level in the league being higher than ever before?
100%.
Mm-hmm.
The formula really hasn't changed. I just think that this is a really unique time in the game. I mean, 2014 had a few guys that were really really good. I mean, I think
Right.
now you have this young crop that's like extremely good, and then you have the older guys like KD, Steph, LeBron that are still playing at an extremely high level, and I think it's created this gluttony of very highly rated guys. I Not only that, like the mid '90s have never had this many people. Usually, the mid
Mm-hmm.
'90s are kind of that top layer, but like this, I do think that basketball from a star perspective is probably in a better state than it's been in our entire history at 2K. Just because there's just so many guys that are good, and then the older guys are having longer careers of excellence. I mean, LeBron doing this in his 21st year, it's pretty extraordinary. So I think that that's a big thing.
100%. It's not just that skill level across the league has gotten higher, and you see that on every single team, right? Just the phasing out of the dudes who are just sort of big lugs, setting screens, and really just out there for size. Everybody's got to be able to shoot and handle and play, make and defend multiple positions. But it is, at the same time, the intersection of the two eras. Like you were saying, you have Steph at 34 and KD and even LeBron right at 38 still playing at this level with this incredibly talented young generation. So it makes a lot of sense that we would have the most really highly rated players
Yeah, for
at
sure.
this time. So, taking it outside of just the ratings, I think one of the things that is really interesting about the NBA and how it's related to 2K is that it is such a player driven league. And we hear that all the time, but it really is true. Just the difference in reach between an NBA superstar and, say, an NFL superstar. The NFL has this tremendous popularity, but it is so much more about the team brand. Whereas the NBA, everybody is invested in if it's Devin Booker, if it's Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, LeBron, obviously. So, how does that inform your guys' strategy in terms of how you grow and promote 2K in terms of leaning into that player driven identity that the league itself has too?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I think the way our game plays now is totally different, right? Like
Hmm.
when I started 2K back in 2008 or 25 BC, whenever it was, the game was really about Rockets versus Lakers, like
Right.
marquee franchises in quick
Hmm.
game where you play God mode and you play those teams. Our game is completely different, right? Everybody plays my career. Everybody jumps in the city and plays
Right.
other my careers. Like that's the way that our game has gone, and it allows you to live the life of a basketball player through and through, which is exactly what the narrative that the NBA is trying to drive. Like we care a lot more
Hmm.
about LeBron's production company and Steph's venture fund, and like these are the business around around basketball. I don't honestly what I'm really involved in, which is the culture around basketball itself, right? Like trying to give everybody opportunities and in the periphery of what basketball is beyond my day job, right? So like that is where we've gone because it's kind of symbiotic, right? Like the NBA's gone that way, we've gone that way, we help each other in both ways, and that it's pretty awesome.
Okay, before we do let you go, Ronnie, we are going to do a little bit of 2K trivia here. So, Logan, the way it's going to work is one of us has prepared a question for the other two. So, Ronnie, you'll always have one of the nerds on the team with you and the other one asking a question. So, Logan, what do you got for us first?
Gentlemen, we're going to start with maybe one of my favorite trivia questions we've ever done, Carson. Can you guys tell me the top 10 largest overall increases in the last 10 years? This isn't from one game to the next. This is all 10 years. So the highest overall increase from a player's rookie season to their highest rating. And I want to clarify, too, not at their apex in mid-season because in-season ratings fluctuate, but their rating at the game's release.
So, unfortunately, we lost Ronnie's video for a second here, but he just ripped off the bat Giannis, Jokic, and then pointed out that Luka would be here because he was in some 2K games when he was very young with Real Madrid and had a very low overall.
All right, Ronnie, I actually got to give you bonus points here. I didn't have Luka initially in here because I forgot of his Real Madrid, so he was in the game, 59-95. So you guys have number one, Giannis, 60-97, plus 37. Luka tied for second, plus 36, and Jokic is fourth, a 68-98, plus
Did I
30.
forget anyone? Like I just threw those out from my memory.
Yeah, so
Flex. Here, hold up. So I've got
I mean,
a couple.
if anybody
First of all,
should know, I guess it should be me.
I mean, Luka was a fantastic thought because of the Real Madrid. I mean, that's the sort of insight that we're only getting from Ronnie here. My first two thoughts are dudes who just go from absolute obscurity to being pretty good, like I would think mid-high 80s. Hassan Whiteside, does he fall within the right range here? And then Christian Wood was the other dude who I was thinking.
Wow, dude. Christian Wood is an absurdly good guess. He's plus 17. To crack the list, you got to be plus 21. Whiteside is correct. Was a 59 overall in 2K14. His max was an 87, so plus 28. And if you guys remember, too, was a 54 in 2K11 and a 49 in 2K12.
Unreal.
Who was?
Hassan Whiteside.
Yeah. No, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you probably remember during 2K14, he had that triple-double with blocks, and they asked him on a nationally televised game, and they asked him, why did he have such a great game? And he said, I was trying to get my 2K rating up. And then he released a unlicensed shirt to support that. It was funny.
That is like the reason that I think of him in this category. That's the iconic quote.
Yeah, no, that's a good call. But I mean, I think to win that category, you got to be a 90. You had to have ended your career, in the 90s, and those three guys that I mentioned are the three.
So let's think about who else if we're trying to get the top 10 here. Draymond, I mean, 2K14, I don't know if he still would have been low enough. I'm just thinking second round to all-star sort of jump.
I will tip you off. You guys have three more players, excluding Draymond, from 2K14. Draymond.
How about from 14? Oh, I was going to say Gilbert Arenas, but that's probably not right.
Yeah, that's a great thought. I mean, same idea.
Draymond is 5, 61-90, plus 29.
So who was really low rookie ratings in 14?
One of them.
I mean, I wonder. CJ was the 10th pick, but I don't feel like he would have been very high. I guess he probably never got too high. He probably only got to like 86 or 87 or something, maybe.
Who got drafted in 14? I'm trying. Who was the first pick in 14? That'll remind me.
Anthony Bennett.
Wasn't it Wiggins?
14 was Wiggins, yeah, but 2K14 would have the 13 rookies, so that was Anthony Bennett, Oladipo, Porter Jr., that whole class.
Of course.
So I'll tip you guys off. One of these guys
Rudy.
started.
We haven't said Rudy Gobert. He's in that class.
Tied for second.
That is a good one.
From a 52 to an 88, plus 36. Wow. You got another guy who was a 60 overall in 2K14 and a guy who was a 57 overall in 2K14.
Let me think about it for a second. I'm like starting to get a good grasp on that draft class. Because Giannis was in that draft class. Duh.
Right.
This guy knows Giannis a little bit.
Knows Giannis a little bit.
Oh, Middleton, of course. Yeah, another one of those second round to star level guys.
Tied
Okay.
for sixth, went from a 60 to an 88. So you guys are just missing 3 guys.
Okay. Somebody
That's
else
not
who was.
bad though. I mean, that's not bad.
Yeah, we're cooking.
Dennis Schroeder, maybe.
Wow. He is a 2K14 guy. Let me see how Dennis Schroeder jumped.
Because
I'm
I think
thinking.
one year he got up to like a. I feel like he got up to like an 86.
Wow. Good for
So,
him.
and then he must have started as like a 60.
Mm-hmm. Schroeder went from a 68 to an 81, so plus 13. That's not a
Good
bad
So
job.
yeah,
guess.
he started higher than I thought. So he had a higher rating than Giannis. That's
Mm-hmm.
even though he was drafted a couple spots after him.
Yeah, Giannis was so raw though. He was all upside.
You got another international guy, 2 international guys actually, who were pretty raw entering the league.
It's usually the international guys because
Mm-hmm.
even with like Wemby, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
we only have so much data on them, right? So like
Right.
ultimately we have to kind of and you're also like apples to oranges in terms of
For
level of
sure.
competition. So like it's a hard to rate those guys. So that's probably why what 7 or 8 of these guys are going to be international.
Yeah.
I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So who does make sense here?
So wait, there's still a 14 guy left or not?
You guys have one 14 guy, one 15 guy, and one 16 guy.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Interesting.
The 15 guy, a bona fide superstar, is a 94 overall, I believe now.
Really? Let me think
Okay.
about it a second. Don't spoil it. Let me think about it.
I mean, yeah, go ahead, Ronnie. Think on it. So that's the 2014 draft. I mean, it's Embiid didn't jump that far. He was the third pick.
Embiid is tied for 11th. He is the one of the first guys
Wow.
off.
Okay.
Plus 20, went from a 76 to a 96.
Okay.
This guy from 2K15, the superstar jump, 72 to a 94.
72 to 94. Which game? 2K15?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Well, is the 14 guy? It just occurred to me. I think the 14 guy is Spencer Dinwiddie because he ended up as an 88.
Ooh, that's a great thought.
Dinwiddie is a really good guess.
He's not it.
It's not him. This guy's a big man.
Big man.
I mean, it's not Steven Adams.
It is Steven Adams.
Oh,
Went from
I
a
was gonna say
57
Oh yeah.
to an
He had
84.
that one year where his rating went crazy.
Wow. I just didn't think he would have been
That's a
that
good call.
low, but okay.
Dinwiddie's a good guess. Plus 16. He'd be one of the handful of guys first off.
Okay. And so now, I mean, we're still missing the guy who took the superstar jump, Ronnie. We got to get
Well,
him.
yeah, I think is it a former cover athlete?
He has been a cover athlete.
Was it very recent?
It is pretty recent.
All right, it is our cover athlete from last year, Devin Booker.
It is D Book. He is
Oh,
number 9. So all you guys are missing is number
Wow.
10. And I will say this guy was really, really raw coming into the league, but his organization did a phenomenal job of developing him. A 67 to an 88.
Okay, I think I know it. Is it Spicy P?
It is Spicy P. Well done, guys.
Let's go.
Oh,
Let's go.
that's a good one though. That was a fun little journey.
All right,
But I
this
didn't
one.
think we get to all 10, so that's good work.
Yeah, that's what we do, Ronnie. That's the power of teamwork, man.
Uh-huh.
Great pull with Book. I just wouldn't have think he started quite that low, but that does make sense.
I mean,
I
he
guess
was a 13th pick, and those
Yeah,
the
low
reason I think
70s.
that 14, 15, 16 thing was because we didn't make changes to the formula, but I think we were a little harder on guys that were drafted later, and now you'll see a little less variance between. The first half of the draft and the second for half of the first round. But if you think about it, there's so many guys that come out. Like it is sort of a crapshoot, even
For sure.
like post lottery now. So like I think that became a little bit more clear in the late teens.
Yeah.
5 to 10 years ago, where a lot of guys that were in the second half of the first round were good, and I think we had to like compensate for that. Like Kawhi Leonard, for
Yeah.
example, right? Like
Right.
yeah, guys like that.
Yeah, that's a
Jordan
great point
Poole.
because
Yeah.
Because I was thinking, like, same thing with Adams, right? I was thinking for Book, 13th isn't that late, but then you think it's like, well, sometimes the 13th pick is Jerome Robinson, so you can't just assume that guy's going to be nice. All right, I got one for you guys, and then we'll let you go, Ronnie. But this one should be pretty straightforward. Can you guys name me every player to be a 98 overall or higher, and it's the same as Logan, not including midseason ratings, at the start of a game in 2K history?
Ooh.
In 2K history? Well, before the reason we're gonna struggle with that because before 2K11 there were a lot of them, weren't there?
It's not too crazy. I mean, there were more. There's only like one that I think you guys will be like, what? But it's only, I think, 10 dudes on this whole list.
Wow.
1099s?
1098s.
1098s and above. Okay. Obviously Jokic. Obviously LeBron.
Jokic. Yep.
Obviously MJ. I mean, are
Well,
you counting it?
We're not counting.
Yeah,
not counting like
no
all-time teams. Yeah.
No legends. Sorry.
Yeah.
Steph
LeBron?
was a 98. Was he taking it till 98? In the season he did. I don't remember if he started his season 98.
Steph's best start to a game was 97.
97.
We can get some OGs here. We're gonna have Allen Iverson and Shaquille O'Neal.
You actually.
Well, Shaquille O'Neal was a 102 when that.
Yep, Shaq, the only, at least to start a game, 100 ever. A.k.a. Logan, actually only a 97. He was the highest rated player in the first game, but a 97. But Shaq is right.
He was the cover athlete for like 3 games. That's kind of surprising. Are we gonna have Tim Duncan?
Tim Duncan, yes, very good to see. He's here 5 times.
Did Dirk must have got there, right?
Dirk actually didn't. Let's see what Dirk's peak to start a game was.
What about Dirk's teammate Steve Nash?
Nash also did not. So let's see.
I think the first one was, if I'm not mistaken, was KG.
KG, yes, 5 times he did this.
Yeah, I think he was the first one too.
Ronnie, do you think T-Mac or Kobe would be here?
Kobe'd be there.
Kobe's here 5 times, and Logan.
T-Mac?
T-Mac in 2K5, yep.
The weird.
So how many we got left? How many do we have left?
So you have 3 left, and they are maybe the 3 toughest. But again, only one of them is like a real.
Okay, I'm gonna take a complete guess, and I might be totally wrong, so I apologize in advance.
Go for it.
Did Chris Paul ever get a 98?
Chris Paul, Ronnie, a 99 in 2K9. He's one of 5 99s ever. So yes, great pull.
Wow.
Is the weird one Ben Wallace?
Oh, I love that. It's not Ben Wallace. By the way, really good guesses. I mean, Dirk was a 97.
No,
Nash
I want to get
was
these.
a
I want to
96.
get these last 2. Don't.
No, you will. You will. I was just saying some of the really close guesses.
D Wade.
D Wade, dude, nicely done. 2K7 off the title. And the last one is the toughest one. This was early. This was within the first 3 2Ks.
Marbury.
It's not Marbury. And actually, the thing about that hint is you won't associate this guy with that time frame necessarily. He played for a long time after.
Played for a long time after?
Yeah, like 2K2, he's the 98, but you know, he for another decade after that he was solid. That was early in his career.
Who won the title in 2002? The Spurs, right? So Tony Parker.
03 was the Spurs. 02 was the last of the Lakers three-peats. So it's not
a Laker.
It's not a Laker, and it's not a Spur. This guy wasn't on a great team actually at this point.
It's not it's not Yao, is it?
Oh, that's an interesting thought. It's not Yao.
Could it? I don't know. Dwight wasn't drafted yet.
Yeah, Dwight Howard. That's not a bad call, but yeah, he wasn't drafted.
Yeah, let's see what Dwight's peak was. Dwight was a 95 in 2K13.
Is this Jermaine O'Neal?
Oh, wow, that's a really interesting thought. I mean, he's better than those guys. So he's a top 25 all-time points leader, but never first-team All-NBA. He did win a title, but he wasn't like clearly the guy. It's Paul Pierce, dude. How about that?
I mean,
Ronnie's processing.
No. In I feel like when did they win the title? 99?
Who are you talking about?
No, I'm sorry. They won it in '09. Oh, okay. So
Oh
that's
wait.
what you're saying. He did it. He did it. Yeah, later.
Right. Yeah. He won. So they won the title in
But
08, and the
Did
game
Paul Pierce have a great season the year before? I'm just curious.
pretty good. He averaged like 25, 26 a game. I don't think he was even an all-star in the 2001
Wait,
season
what
though.
year was this?
This is
2002.
2K2. Yep.
So 2001, he would have had to have a crazy year.
Right. And he wasn't an all-star. So they saw something in Paul Pierce, and I
Guess
mean,
so.
he was nice. But yeah, I mean, well done, gentlemen. You cleaned that up. And Ronnie, man, it has been great to have you here. Super fun to get to do some trivia, talk some 2K with you. Anything
No, I like the trivia stuff. We should do this again for sure.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's what we do here. It's very fun. Anything that you want to hit on before we get out of here?
Um, I'm trying to think. There's a lot going on. You guys probably saw the Kobe mural that we did recently. That was just kind of like we're starting to think about like where we're wrapping up the year, and it's like some of the big memories of this year. That was a more recent one, but
For sure.
that was just great to save that mural.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, 25th anniversary. It just never stops with us. Like we've always
Yeah.
had so much stuff going on. So yeah,
Of course.
looking forward to the in-season tournament next weekend. That should be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
New, different. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, it was really great to have you on, Ronnie. Of course, everybody go check him out. Very, very fun to have you on. And you guys know where to find us, all audio platforms. Nerd Sesh YouTube page, TikTok, Instagram, at Nerd Sesh. And with that, as always, one more shout out to Ronnie. I've been Carson Breber.
I have been Logan Camden.
And this was Nerd Sesh.